Welcome back to the channel, guys and girls, and before we do anything and head to the amazing news that we have to share, please do not hesitate before you start watching this video to make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on further videos, and hit that like button to help us out as well. There'll be plenty of football content coming your way. Please hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on that. So the National League clubs can start the season thanks to a grant that has come through from the government. It's not fantastic that fans cannot attend these elite club games. However, it's positive news going forward that we can start this weekend for some National League teams. For most, it's been a massive worry and panic whether the season would start with or without fans, without any funding. But that has all been sorted, and hopefully clubs can have a bit of a clearer future and we don't need to lose any more sides. We'll touch on that throughout the video, but we'll also go through every single FA Cup fixture coming this weekend and where we can see any surprises coming up. So let's take a look then at the fixtures of the FA Cup qualifying second round. We start looking through the games with Alvechurch, and they will go up against Kidderminster Harriers. Kidderminster's first game of the season. Alvechurch started slowly in the Southern Central. A 2-0 win at Shifnal Town in the previous qualifying round, but lost 2 and drawn 1 so far in the league. If Ashton United and South Shields make the third qualifying phase and ultimately into the FA Cup first round, what harder way are they going to have to do it? South Shields already have beaten Warrington, who's currently top and fellow Northern Premier League side. They've won 1 and drawn 2 of their first 3 league games. One of those draws against Saturday's opponents only on Tuesday. A 3-3 draw between Ashton United, who were 3-1 up at one point in that game. 1-1 and drawn 1 so far in the league for Ashton, winning away at Scarborough, who also have started very well in the Northern Premier League. So Ashton United and South Shields definitely got a hard draw to start their FA Cup campaigns. Barking go up against Kings Langley, and Barking, you know, in the prelims beat Heybridge Swifts 2-0 and beat Dunstable 6-1 in the previous round. Kings Langley beat Clacton on penalties, 1-1, drawn 1, lost 1 in the league. You know, there could potentially be an upset there for Barking to knock out Kings Langley. Bath City, they go up against Winchester, who beat Clevedon 3-2 in the previous game. Bedfont Sports go up against Carshalton, and Bedfont Sports have got a big task on their hands. A good win in the last previously round, beat Lewis 3-1, but they have lost both league games so far, up against a Carshalton side who have started superbly, winning 2 and drawing 1 of their first 3 league games. 5-0 win over Faversham in the previous round, and they can call on the exploits up front of Omar Karoma, former Norwich and Portsmouth player, on their books. Anyway, and Carshalton have had a great start to the season, haven't they? Bishop Stortford host Brentwood, and Boston United face AFC Mansfield. Brackley Town go up against Billericay, and Bracknell host Marlow. Bracknell 4-1 winners away at Ashford United and had a very good start to the season so far. And Marlow, who won on penalties at Frimley Green in the previous round, Simon Grant, their hero, saving the penalties in that. Can they carry on and win away at Bracknell? They would certainly do very well to go through to the next round. Bradford Park Avenue up against Spennymoor Town in their first games of the season in an all-Northern National League tie. Not many teams have beaten Lowestoft so far this season, and Averley managed that with a 3-2 away victory there, and you know, with a fantastic victory to get to this stage of the cup competition. They go up against Brantham away from home, also a bit of a giant killing win their game as well, beating St Ives 1-0 this side from the Eastern Counties. You'd fancy an away win here, but Brantham will give Averley, I'm sure, a decent account of it. Burnham play Whiteleaf. Bury Town go up against Waltham Abbey. Bury Town beat Brightlingsea 2-1 in the previous round. And Waltham Abbey a 1-0 win away at Harlow. So both sides will be looking to extend their good victories there. Buxton go up against Stafford in an all-Northern Premier lineup. Buxton have a very impressive start, and I fancy them to do quite well this year. Canvey go up against Biggleswade FC. Chasetown face AFC Telford. Cheshire play Cambridge City, and Chichester City go against Risborough. Chichester City, one of the stories of last season's FA Cup, weren't they? went on to play Tranmere Rovers in the FA Cup proper, losing 5-1, but what a run they went on, beating teams like Enfield, Bowers and Pitsea along the way. Beat Cribs 3-1 to get to this stage this season, going against Risborough, who won 3-1 against Cobham. Risborough coming from the Hellenic League Division 1 East, so they will be the underdogs, but Chichester know all about that from last year, that they will not underestimate their opponents. Chippenham, they faced Poole. Poole received a bye to get to this round after Merthyr Town decided they will not be playing any more games this season. Poole, with 2 wins from 2, 100% record so far this season, will be looking to take that against a team from the Northern League South, National League South, Chippenham Town, a great pre-season from them, and they'll be hoping to really climb the league this year. It looks like a good game in store there for Chippenham against Poole. Chipstead plays East Grinstead. Chipstead beat Deal 2-1 in the previous round. They'll be hoping to get better along the way than they did last season, where they lost 7-0 to Welling. East Grinstead, with a massive win in their last game. Not many teams, again, will probably go and beat Worthing this year. While it was a 3-3 draw, they did beat them on penalties and deservedly went through away at Chipstead in this round. And an all-National League North tie in recently relegated Chorley against Gateshead. Moving on to the next list of matches, Christchurch go against Gloucester. Gloucester will be hoping for a very good season this year, and they do have a good amount of summer signings in their team this season. They'll be hoping to get to the first round, not managed that since 2013. They'll play Christchurch, who beat Dorchester 2-1 in the previous round. Colville go against Alfreton Town. Concord host Potters Bar. Corinthians up against Hampton and Richmond. Corinthian Casuals hoping to cause a bit of an upset against Dulwich Hamlet. Curzon Ashton go up against FC United of Manchester, who have had an up and down start so far. Darlington hosts Prescott Cables. Darlington reaching the first round last year, taking Walsall to a replay before losing that one. Prescott Cables won 4-0 against Sunderland Ryhope, and they're from the northwest. Can they cause an upset travelling to Darlington on Saturday? Dartford go against Slough in an all-Southern League game, and also Dorking taking on Eastbourne. Borough, both of those ties taking on teams that haven't played yet this season. And Dunstable up against Hemel Hempstead. Can Dunstable cause a shock? There definitely looks like they could. A shock win in the last round at Merstham. They have all the potential, and obviously with some of these sides not allowing away fans, the home fan advantage can take into consideration with this. Plus, a lot of these teams that are going against higher opposition have the added bonus of playing competitively already this season. This last lot of list makes up Ebbsfleet hosting Hastings. Starting from the top then again, Farnborough up against Tonbridge Angels. Farsley against Radcliffe, surely goals in this, minimum of 5 goals in each of the 3 games so far in the Radcliffe games, both good and bad from their point of view. Folkestone, well, they go up against Chatham, who are top of their respective league at the moment. Frome go against Larkhall. Gosport Borough, can they cause a shock? Hereford, first competitive game for them. Gosport of the Southern League South have started fantastically, haven't they? Second in the league, going really well. Did have a little bit of a cause of concern in the last round, however. Did end up beating Tavistock, but only on penalties. A Northern Premier game of Grantham taking on Matlock. Guiseley up against Atherton Collieries, and I think the bye of the first round, 2 defeats so far in the league for Atherton already, but that was against Warrington and Scarborough. I think there's a cause for Atherton to make maybe a little bit of a shock to hear, and not forgetting that these games go straight to penalties without the look of a replay, so it gives the underdogs a little bit more of that chance as well in this year's Cup. Hanwell Town go up against Hartley Whitney. Haringey go up against Chertsey. Haringey with a very good run in this competition a couple of years ago, didn't they? They stopped, the winning run was stopped in the previous league game against Leatherhead. Ironically, the side that Chertsey knocked out on penalties in the last game, so it'll be interesting to see how these two combat that result against each other. Harrow, one of the favourites, one of the favourable teams in their division so far, have started not as well as what they probably would have liked. Chance to put that right this Saturday afternoon against Cray Valley. And Hashtag United, one of two sides still in the competition making their debut this year. They go up against Braintree, hoping to cause a shock. Big game for them. And, their 2-1 win over Soham in the last previous round means Hashtag have set this big game up. And, this can really make or break a club like this with a little bit of revenue coming in. How much that is with gate receipts this year, we'll never know. But a good cup run can still bring in a little bit of money, and it's good for clubs like Hashtag to be involved in these rounds. Hazen Yedding, fresh from a 3-1 win over Swindon Submarine in the league, 1-2-1 at Margate in the previous round. Go up against Bognor Regis, who struggled to get through the previous round, beating lowly South Park on penalties. Bognor have just won their first league game, so a chance for them to push on and try and mount on that Hazen Yedding in this round. Hensford take on Hales Owen, who have scored a hell of a lot of goals already this season. Hensford, one of the fancies again in their division, but not starting very well. Hendon have had an all right start. They go against Maidstone, a chance for maybe Hendon to cause a shock. Hyde against AFC File. Hyde held FC United and also South Shields in their previous two matches, so that's got a lot of confidence boost for them this season, although the wins have been a bit short so far. But up against AFC Fylde, it's a good chance for a shock. 1-5-0 at West Allotment in the first qualifying round. Ilkeston go up against Hanley Town. Ilkeston beat Coventry Sphinx 2-0 in the previous game, and they go up against a Hanley Town fronted up front by Ricardo Fuller, the former Premier League man for Crystal Palace, Portsmouth, just to name a couple. They beat Redditch 3-2 in the last round. Massive shock. Hanley done fantastic at that. They had a very torrid time of it last season, not doing very well before the season got curtailed, but they'll be hoping for better than that this year. They've started very well this season. They've got 100 fans travelling to Ilkeston. First time ever, like Hashtag, in the second qualifying round. Can they cause a shock? There's no reason why not. Hanley Town can't. Moving on then, Kettering go against Chelmsford. Kidlington host Bristol Manor Farm. Kidlington beat Salisbury on penalties and a massive shock in the previous round, both causing shocks. Ironically, Bristol won 2-1 at Yate Town. Moving into Leamington against Banbury. Leighton Town up against Leiston. Leiston, they beat Biggleswade 5-1 in the previous round, and they were a bit of the whipping boys at the start of last season, weren't they? However, the same side they beat 5-1, they lost 7-4 during the week in the league game against them. There's always goals in their games, mostly for the bad part of conceding them, but they'll be hoping to, maybe mount a little bit of form at the start of the season, which they're going to need to not be dragged near the bottom again this year. They go against Leighton Town, who beat Mildenhall 4-0. They'll be hoping for a repeat of the 07-08 season, where they reached the fourth qualifying round, which is, pretty strong stuff from Leighton Town. They go against Leiston, hoping to cause a shock in that one. Holden and Tiptree went on a good run last year, lost a lot of their squad in the summer. They go up against Grays, and Mask host Concert. The Met Police go up against Walton Casuals. Walton Casuals won 3-0 on their last visit to the Met Police. They'll be hoping for that again to kickstart their season. Mickleover host Newark, and Newark won 5-0 away at Rushton and Diamonds in the last round. Massive win for them. Debutants again at this stage. Central Midlands League beat Walsall Wood 2-1 in their previous match, and they've had a very good start to the season. Newark have got a good chance of getting one over the Northern Premier League side. Mickleover, who in 15th at the moment, beat Leek Town 2-1 in the previous round, but there's a good chance for Newark to try and improve on their result against Rushton and Diamonds in this. Moneyfields, well, they host Cray. Moneyfields won on penalties at Aylesbury United in the previous round. Slow start in the league for the South Coast club. And Cray Wanderers, 14 goals in their first 4 games this season, including 3 against Fisher in the previous round. You'd probably fancy them to maybe bag a few more in this round. Mossley take on Tadcaster. Nantwich play Barwell. There's Nuneaton versus Stratford. Peterborough Sports host Stansted. Royal Wootton host Oxford City. Royston host Stamford. Runcorn Linnets go up against Marine. Saltash, who beat Cirencester 3-1 in the previous round, beat host Sholing, who beat Fairford 2-1. They're sitting third, Sholing, in the Southern League Division 1 South, and very fancied to do well this season. Saltash finished in the fourth qualifying round previously in the 1987. A while since that's happened, they'll be hoping for a bit more from the side from the Southwest Peninsula League. As we move into the next list, look at this. Sheppey United go up against Welling. Sheppey United have had a great start to the season, haven't they? A very good start, very well supported. Won 5-0 against Stenning Town, sitting fourth in their division, and they can count upon good experience in their squad, especially Jack Midson. Remember him up front. AFC Wimbledon, goal scorer from recent years, mostly at Concord Leatherhead in recent times. But like we say, a great start from Sheppey up against Welling, who ironically they sit one place above Welling Town in their division. But this is Welling United of the National League South, who will be hoping for a good season this year and won't hope they will not slip on this banana skin. But Sheppey United are definitely worth taking note going into this weekend. Skelmersdale take on Lancaster. Southport play Morpeth. St Albans up against Hitchin. St Albans lost their top goal scorer from last season up to Havant and Waterlooville, and they'll be hoping for a bit better than what they finished when the season ended early last year. Hitchin, well, they scored 8 goals in their first 2 games this season. Combat that with a 7-1 defeat last time out to Ruston and Diamonds. They'll be hoping to put that back right and maybe cause a shock going up to St Albans. Tamworth plays Evesham. Tiverton play Taunton in an all-league affair there, and Truro go up against Hungerford. Hungerford, the basement side from the National League South last year, lost a lot of games last year, but half-decent pre-season. Some good players come in. They'll be hoping for a bit better this year, and we'll hope will not go out to Truro. Truro 1-0 away to Tadley in the third round, who are going well so far again in their division. Walthamstow go up against Hornchurch. Walthamstow won on penalty against Margusbury in the previous round. Hornchurch won 3-0 away at Bowers and Pitsea, which is a big result considering the start that Bowers and Pitsea have made. Hornchurch will be hoping they won't slip up here. Warrington Rylands will be live on TV against York City. They won at Whitby on penalties in the previous round. Warrington will be hoping that they can try and put York to the sword, which would be a big ask. Western Supermare go up against Swindon Submarine. Whitley Bay play Blythe Spartans. Another chance for a shock here. Whitley Bay beat Whitton 3-2 from the Northern Premier League in the previous round, which was a big win. They've started very well, all right, actually, this season so far. Go against Blythe Spartans, who, their fans aren't very optimistic this season, and there's a good chance for upset there. Wimborne host Melksham. Wimborne, no league goals so far this season. Won 3-0 at Barnstable in the previous round, but Wimborne will be hoping they won't slip up. Melksham, and they won on penalties at Highworth in the previous round, and they're fresh from a 2-0 away win at Moneyfields in their respective league. Wimborne definitely there to be taken, for a bit of a shock there. We finish Saturday's matches with Worksop going up against Chester FC. And not to forget, there is one match taking place on Sunday, Havant and Waterlooville versus Horsham. Ironic in this game, Horsham lost their last league game outing against Bognor Regis, and ironically this is where this game is taking place. But that is the only Sunday game in the F.A Cup. So there we go, that's the run through of the F.A Cup. If you want some upsets, well, here's my famous 5 that I think will be making the headlines come Sunday morning. And for those 5, I have gone for Whitley Bay, Sheppey United, Hanley Town, Hendon and Gosport Borough. I think these clubs have got cup ties potentially there for them to strike a banana skin for their opposition, especially Gosport, home to Hereford. They've got some good potentials there, and while no one knows how this round's going to go, they're my 5 I fancy to actually cause an upset this weekend. And potentially a couple more that could probably strike a surprise this weekend. I've gone for Atherton, Pooltown, Chatham, AFC Dunstable, Barking and Melksham Town. I think they could all have hand in maybe doing a bit of an upset. Chatham, very hard game away at Folkestone, who are a very strong side, but going well. So these are another 6 that have the potential for an upset this weekend. If you're going to a game this weekend, don't forget, enjoy it. Make the most of the football games that you can go to, because a lot of people that support their clubs are not that privileged as of yet. Let's hope that changes soon, but for the foreseeable future, it's going to be step 3 and lower, inquiring fans inside the ground. But good luck this weekend, wherever you end up going. We are off to Moneyfield to watch Moneyfields versus Cray Wanderers in the second qualifying round. Wherever your team is, make sure they win. Hit that like button to give them some luck to get you through to the next round. Trust me, it can work. And don't forget to subscribe to catch up some more future videos coming up this season. Good luck everyone in the FA Cup this weekend, and welcome back to all the clubs that are playing their first competitive match this weekend.